Hi guys, welcome back to Thorough Capping. This is Dave. I'm at it again for tomorrow, actually for today. Woodbine Sunday 7:16, and Woodbine's not a track that I play very often. I could probably count on two hands the number of times I played it, but I looked at the entries, I looked at the races that were being offered, and I thought it was a playable card. How deep I'm going to go, how often I'm going to play as far as race-wise, I'm probably going to pick my spots, looking for my value. But the one I want to focus on, the one wager I want to focus on is the early pick five, which starts in the second race. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze the first race, and I just want to show you some of the things on my grid here. Anytime you see anything in black, it means that that factor did not appear. Okay, you'll see the black usually or mostly all the time on the qualitative factors. Okay, the only time you'll see a black anywhere else is on the factor X when it's a route race and not a sprint. We do not look at that. So, and anytime you see the blue here, I'm going to try to stay consistent for my anytime I'm doing analysis like this. Blue is I didn't feel I needed to do these sections, the matrix section and the velocity section, or two, what I saw on the past performances I thought was enough to make my in conclusion as far as my contenders and my selections. And that was what happened in the first race here. I'm going to take a look at it real quick. That way you'll see how I came to that decision there. All right, if you look at race one was a six furlong, 25,000, 9 winners of 2. When I look down, I'm not going to go over every little thing I did right from the beginning, but you guys can get a chance to see what's going on here. We do have a horse coming out of a key race, the one horse. Okay, but the thing is, I was able to narrow this 7-horse race down to 1, 2, 3, 4 horses. Okay. Again, I don't want to make this a long, extended any longer than I need to. I'm not going to go over why I eliminated certain horses. I just did what I did, and there's 3 things you live by when you're playing this game. 1, you live by who you kept and who you eliminated. 2, you live by how you handicap the race or your contenders. And 3, you live and die by how you structured your wagers and how you played your selections. Okay, so I have 4 horses I narrowed this down to. So those are the 4 I was looking at. I ran the numbers on all of them. But the one thing that stood out to me about the 5 was the fact that he was dropping down in class. He is going to be my early speed. He has my top final fraction in the race. Well, he's co with the 3 horse. He has my top buyer Cume. And if I remember correctly, he was my target horse as well. He's my top target, and he's my top target buyer, or target Briz. So I mean, he was just a standout across the board. Just the fact that he is a class dropping speed horse, and he may be alone on the lead in this race. He may get challenged by a couple of horses here. Actually, no, he might not. He might get challenged by the 7. But I think the class alone, the 7's coming out of a maiden optional claimer. I think the class alone is going to be enough to for this 5. However, I'm not going to really have any skin in the game because 1, the 5's not going to present any value, and 2, as I said, my focus is going to be on the early pick 5, which starts in race 2. Okay, but I did rank them 5, 1, 3, 7 in that race. If you want to keep an eye on that tomorrow. Okay, let's go to race 2. Race 2, I narrowed down to nobody. 7 horses. I didn't eliminate anybody in this race because they all stood out for me for some particular reason. I did not use my pace lines, my projected pace for the race tonight to eliminate anybody because again, it's a track I'm unfamiliar with. I don't know how different the early speed is on turf there compared to the all-weather track. You get a lot of horses that jump back and forth from all weather to turf. In my mind, that's kind of, those two surfaces are more similar than a turf and a dirt. Okay, so I didn't really go by eliminating based on how well I think they would do against today's projected pace. But what I did do was I ran the numbers on all my horses, and I'm going to show you how I eliminated for tomorrow's card or today's card. Once I ran my numbers, grabbed my pace lines, identified anything qualitatively that stands out, and then I go to my board, and the thing was, once I put all the factors in, not counting velocity, I went and put my matrix factors in, and I went and put my qualitative factors in, and it turns out the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 stood out. Okay, the 7 made no appearance there, so ultimately I ended up tossing the 7 after my second phase of eliminating or contender selection, which left me with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 to draw pace lines from. Now, if I haven't done so, I got to check. Those of you who have already purchased the thorough capping, I may or may not have put in pace grids only tab on the bottom. If I haven't, I will. Okay, where you have a chance to just get your pace grids only, and you don't have to worry about having the original thorough grid with all the different charts on there. All you got to do is click on the pace grid tab and just put your numbers in that you're going to run. So race 2, I have the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And from there, all you do is you take the rest of the chart that you don't need and just delete them rows. I'm going to bring them back because, and now you're working with a smaller grid. All right, so let's look at the pace grid here with race 2. The 1 stood out for me off of the pace line, and it was labeled accordingly on the grid here. Okay, the 6 was had factor X, but then early pace, sustained pace, and average overall pace went to the 1. The 1 was indeed my target horse, and he's coming off a move on the turn, so I did rank the 1 my top play. I went 1, 5, 6, 2 in this race, but I'm only going to go 3 deep in the first leg of the pick 5. I'm going to go 1, 5, 6. Now this is nice because you have 20% pick 5s over at Woodbine, so playing this here is only going to cost me $18. Alright, the third race, I did not do anything, any of the matrix factors. All I did was look at them qualitatively, and I ran the velocity, pace velocity numbers, and let me show you why. I eliminated 3. There was only 5 horses. I eliminated 2 of the 5. All right, so when I got it down to 3, I didn't want to do anything target buyer wise because we're dealing with 5 furlong races here, 5.5 furlong races. So I just knew that, you know what, I'm gonna be ranking 3 contenders. I rank 4 already normally. These 3 are gonna make it to the rankings. So I went and just threw them right into the pace and velocity grid. And the 1 and the 2 stood out for me. Factor X, early pace, sustained pace, average overall. When I put them on the grid, I ranked them as 2, 1, 5. Okay, but I'm gonna leave the 5 out. Again, only showing up once in a trainer note. He could beat me, but yet somebody who I eliminated could beat me as well. I'm going to go only 1, 2 in that race. Now the 4th race, look at it real quick. I didn't eliminate anybody. Actually, I eliminated the 9, okay? But when I drew everything up, the 6 horse stood out in my matrix factors. The 6 was the co-target with the 1. Top target buyer, or Briz. Top final fraction. Top speed cumulative. And then when I ran it through the pace, the velocity pace, or pace velocity, I had the factor X. Top sustained. Second average overall. He is dropping in class. He's got a trainer note. He's going to be my single in that pick 5. I'm going to roll with the 6. Now the 6, I remember, is not the 6 is 7-2. So we're looking to beat. Okay, well, he is the morning line favorite. I thought there was somebody lower. No, actually the 8 is 3-1. Okay, so we're looking to beat the 8 here with this 6 horse. Okay, the 6 here has the class edge. Not simply because he was coming out of a higher race, but he ran a good race 2 back at the $40,000 level, where the 8 is coming off of a maiden win. And his numbers, again, trust your numbers. His numbers are showing me something more than the 8 horse. So I'm going to single, roll with that single of the 6. And I didn't even use the 8. So there I'm making a bold move. I'm eliminating that 8 horse, who very well may be the morning line or the public's favorite, or he might not. Okay, the sixth race, which is the last leg of this pick 5. Let's take a look at it real quick. Wait a second. No, I'm sorry. The 5th race. I tossed the 5th, and what I did was I'm rolling the dice here, and I'm playing horses that are coming back second time out. There's a lot of first time starters in this race. 2-year-olds, horses that are coming second time out after showing something positive in their first race. There are a couple here that are coming second time out that showed nothing. When I saw that, the first thing I looked for was trainer ratings, trainer notes. I didn't see much there. And the first time starters I looked for workout patterns. We have a bullet work plus a follow-up workout after that. Then running tomorrow, or running today. Decent trainer numbers, so I included the 5, I included the 6, and I included the 8. So again, I'm rolling dice with 5 horses here, 1, 3, 5, 6, 8 for the 4th leg. And then finally the 5th leg, I'm going to go with, I eliminated the 3, the 5, and the 6. So I eliminated 3 out of 6 in this race. We do have a turn move. We do have a class drop here. And we'll see where they fell on the grid. Okay, the 4 is not only my class drop, 8-5 morning line favorite. So I'm hoping to beat him with the 1 or the 2, but I'm going to use all 3, the 1, 2, and the 4, in my pick 5. And I'm going to leave the early speed out, which is the 5, which I put that in there before elimination. But he is probably going to be the early speed of the race. So, I mean, I did 3 more races. I did 2 more. I did the 7th and the 8th. I want to see if there's anything that really stands out about those 2 races. There is the 8th race was an interesting one. The 8th race I thought was the toughest for me. It's 1.25 miles on turf. And we do have a horse in here that's coming off a 2-mile race on the turf. Graded stakes. 5-2 morning line. If I get that deep or that far and I actually play this race, I'm obviously going to use that 5. But what I did was I couldn't draw a target off it. I couldn't draw a target ability. It was very tough to draw an accurate final fraction because the longer these races, the more energy is going to be used. So the final fraction is going to be a little bit slower. So what I did was I compared my other contenders outside of that 5 horse And I actually put the 10 and the 1. I'm going to try to beat that 5. Okay, with the 10 and the 1. The 1 horse is my target horse. Top final fraction. Again, out of the other contenders around that 5 horse. Back direction, not even be looked at here. 1's coming off a stretch move. The 5 horse is my co-target. Showing up sustained pace, top average overall, second and early. But again, I couldn't get any of these other factors from that 5, so 5 may very well come out and, you know, just blow these other horses away. But at the same time, just being a little bold here, putting 10, 1, 5, and then the 8 is my last choice. And then we'll just look at the 8th race real quick. The 8th race was another 6 furlong sprint. Nope, I'm ahead of myself. The 7. I gotta go backwards. Race number 7. Did I do something wrong? Oh, no. Okay. I have the 5 horse second in this race. Okay. Should have known that. There was no 10 horse in this other race. Sorry, my fault. I always manage to make one mistake here on these videos, but the 8 is my target buyer, top early pace. Now this is a long race, a 1.25 miles, I think it was, on the turf. So I mean, doesn't mean he's going to be in the front just because he has the best EP. Just had the best early velocity off his last and trainer rating. I'm going to try to beat the 5 with the 8, but you know what? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to be playing that race. And then the 7th race, we'll go back and then we'll look at this. I eliminated the 3, the 4, and the 7, the 9, which left me with still a good amount of horses. No, 1, 5, 8, and 10. Left me with the 1, 5, 8, and 10. When I put them on the pace grids, 4th, 5th. There he goes, right there. When I put them on the pace grids, the 5 had the best sustained, best average overall. Factor X went to the 1. Early pace went to the 10. And I plotted them accordingly. I keep getting confused because I did the 8th before the 7th here. But I'm going to go with the 10, 1, 5, 8 in here as my ranking order in selections. All right, let's see how we'll do tomorrow with Woodbine. Again, I'm hoping that maybe, I'm hoping to hit the pick 5. If I don't hit the pick 5 and I play a few verticals here and there, I'm hoping to get, you know, more back than I played. I'm not going to spend a lot of money. I never do. Keep my verticals small. That way when I lose, it's not so bad. And when I hit, I'm most likely going to be pulling a profit when the tickets are smaller. All right, thanks for tuning in, and come back here tomorrow and visit if there's anything exciting to talk about.